Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring Apiary. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you a brief description on how the game is played and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Apiary to your collection. In Apiary, you are either placing your worker bees or you are retrieving your worker bees. Here we have your personal play area, and this first piece here is your hive mat, and there are a variety of different mats that give you different bonuses as you fill it in. This is your personal faction, and again they have end game bonuses, and they're all different depending on which one you're using. I'm going to just turn it later in the game. You can upgrade it, and for example in this case you're able to build one of the hive from the stack for free, one of the hexes. You start on this side, and then you can sort of see there's some highlighted areas, and those are your starting resources. So it'd be a water and a fiber in this case. Up here on your docking mat, you start with 3 of your worker bees at strength 2, 1, and 1, as well as some little hibernation that we'll talk about later. And you have a bee that's off to the side. You have a cube that you can use for setting up a dance. And I had just put these here as if you'd collected them from the board. Now, one of the first places you may want to visit is Explore, because this is where you gain resources. And so you would take your bee, and even if one was here, what happens is it gets pushed to the other side. Now you add up the strength. We have 2 plus 1, and that means you can move up to 3 spaces. So I could move like 1, 2, 3, and I would get this little token, and I would collect all 3 of these resources and add them into my personal play area. And this is that little token that was on my mat. You would add this to the mat because sometimes you can get game end bonuses based on how many of these tokens you have. So we'd add that over to our area. Now the next thing we need to do is place a planet. These are the planets. And this allows you to get resources. And if you're going in with a number 4B, then it gives you a special bonus you can do as well. So you place it down. Now it already has a pollen. We can add a resource of our choice, a water, and then you would also collect those resources and add them to your play area. Now moving over here, I'm just going to use the same bee, but that bee would stay there and you would use one of your other bees. But this is where you're gaining hexes to add to your board, and this is the advanced area. Now currently, this bee would be, it's a strength of 1, and then you already have plus 1 here. So that bee could pick a hex in line 2. But if you come in with your 2, again, that bee gets added down there. It's now a strength of 3. So you're able to collect from this row or this row. Now there are 3 different ones. Farm gives you storage space for your resources, but it also gives you a bonus each time you retrieve your bees. And it can be a resource, it can be movement along the Queen's Favor track, or it can be victory points. And so every time you retrieve your bees, you would activate your farmed hexes. The other one would be recruit. And these give you bonuses when you are at a specific area. So say we're at advance. If you had this hex, every time you bought a development, it would be 1 wax less, which is a really big benefit considering that one then therefore would be free and these would be a bit less. Or if you go to explore, you would gain a bonus resource. And when you go to convert, you could produce 1 wax for free, which normally takes 2 resources. So that's another really great bonus. Development hexes give you a one-time bonus. So here you get 4 movements along the Queen's Favor, which I'll be showing you later in the game. Here you can take up to 3 hexes, save them, and then only you can build them when you come to the advanced area. And then this one, you can gain 2 seed cards and plant 2 seed cards, which give you bonuses at the end of the game. So this is an area you'll be visiting a lot because you want to build up your hives with as many tiles as you can get. The next place is grow. Now, if there's already a worker bee here, you're still allowed to go there. You push the worker bee over, and then this worker bee will go onto the landing area of your docking mat. It will not upgrade to a new strength, and you do not retrieve anything. It just goes to your landing area, and then you'll be able to use it later once you retrieve your bees. So if you have a strength of 3, you'd be able to do both of these things. So this one is here is to get your bee out of hibernation. And you can pay a pollen with 1 of your strength, and it will go back into your active pool. This one here, you need 2 strength, 2 random resources, and it gets you a frame. And this frame gets added to your hive and gives you more spaces to put your hive, your little hexes. And it unlocks a seed card area. So you now have 3 areas for seed cards. Then back here at grow, if this was a 4 strength, it would also, this is how you upgrade your faction tile that I showed you earlier. Now when we move over to research, say we had a 4, that allows you to pick 4 cards, and you can look at them all, and then you're only going to keep 1 of them. So this one is discard 1 of your planted seed cards to gain 5 points, or you can use it as an end game where you gain 5 points if your fraction is upgraded. And to plant this, you would put it underneath your mat. It would cover up this, and only that part would be shown. So you're going to choose if you're going to gain the reward or during the game, or save it and plant it. And if it's a 4, this is also how you can plant. One of the ways you can plant your seed cards is by coming here with a 4. Now, speaking of if you're at a 4, this is the only time you can come to carve, is when your worker bees are at a strength of 4. Here you're going to need honey, and this is the only time as well that you need honey. And you need them to purchase these end game scoring. So it's like 1 point per space on the Queen's Favor track. So this could gain you up to 25 points at the end of the game. 14 if this is your only carve tile. 4 per honey. So if you had a lot of resources and trade them up for honey pots, you can get 4 points. This is 6 per set of resources. This one is 3 per development tiles, and then 1 per resource. Now there are a variety of these. These are just 6 that I put out. These do not get replaced during the game. Once you choose 6, that's it for the game. And as players come here and take them, there's that many less. But you have to be at a strength of 4 to do that. And then back over here, say you came here with a strength of 3, it allows you to convert 3 items, and it's up to you. You can either switch out your seed cards, switch out resources. You can trade in a pollen and a fiber to get a wax, or 2 pollen and water to get honey. So this is how you get your honey, is by converting your resources. So you could collect a whole pile, then come here and trade them all in for your honey. And it's another good way of getting the wax that you need for the development tiles. So when you have your worker bee at a strength of 4 and you retrieve it off the board, it then goes into hibernation, which means it goes out of service until you go back to grow to put it back into service. At that point, you take 1 of your hibernation tiles and you place it along the hibernation comb. So if you're playing with 2 players, it's here. If you're playing with a 3rd player, you can choose any of here. You would put it over top of an area. So in this case, you would gain a honey by covering that up. And then whoever has the most tokens in the different areas gain the points at the end of the game. Finally, along the bottom is the Queen's Favor track. And you move along this track mainly by your hive tiles and getting bonuses. And the further you move along the track, the more points you get, all the way up to 25 points for when you're at 25. The one other way you can move along the track is if you have excess resources that can't fit onto your hive, then you trade them in for a point along the track. And the game ends when either somebody has placed all 7 of their hibernation tokens or the entire hibernation comb is filled based on the number of players. Overall, we really enjoyed the game. And so now I'm going to go into a few things we liked about the game. And one of them is the fact that you can go anywhere on the board, even if it's already filled with bees. You just, as I showed you earlier, you will push your bee down. This one will get put onto the player's landing mat or landing area on their mat. And then you can play your bee there. And it doesn't matter if it's here or there. Everything is always open for you to go to. The other thing we really liked is there's so many ways you can get points. You can get points by picking up these tiles and you're getting points. All of the hive or hexes have points. Sometimes the point might be 0, but then this one is 4, 2, 1. So you can get points here. Through the carve area, you get points. Through the Queen's Favor, and of course on your personal play hives, there's also lots of points. And through the seed cards with the end game bonuses. So you get lots of points throughout this game. We also like that even when your bees hibernate, you're able to get them back by coming here to the grow area and retrieving your bees for a pollen. So you can always have access to all 4 of your bees. And we like that when you retrieve your bees, you get to activate all your farm bonuses that you have on your mat to get you resources and points and movements, depending what you have. So you're constantly getting bonuses when you retrieve your bees as well. So we played this game with 2 players and 3 players. So we found with 2 players, we were able to upgrade our bees to 4 strength and then hibernate them fairly quickly in order. We didn't get them put onto the landing area that often because there was enough room for 2 players to play. And so the game took us about 75 minutes. However, we found with 3 players, because you have more people fighting for the spot, our bees would end up into the landing area. And let's look over here. So when you're on the landing area, you're able to get your bee back, but he doesn't upgrade. So if he was landed at 1, you're just moving him up at level 1. So he's not able to move up in strength as quick as just retrieving them off the board. So with a 3-player game, because they ended up getting into that landing area that much quicker and not being able to upgrade, our game took us 3 hours to play. So it was from 75 minutes to 3 hours because we could not hibernate our bees as quick as in the 2-player game. So you want to just maybe keep that in mind depending on the player count you're deciding to play with. Overall, we really enjoyed this game. So let me know in the comments if you have played Apiary and what you think of the game.